What's up, Uncle Chael? Is it just me, or does it seem like Jon Jones is too afraid to counterpunch these days? I felt like in the Thiago Santos fight and in the Reyes fight, he just tries to duck and dodge all the punches but won't throw a single counterpunch, and it makes people like Reyes' offense look way stronger than it probably is. But what do you think?
My interpretation of your question is that you are asking me, has Jon Jones' style changed? Has his skills diminished? Or are the other guys in the division starting to figure him out, thus catching up with him? That's how I'm interpreting that. I've never known Jon to be a wild counterpuncher. He is very offensive. He always makes first contact. He always makes it very hard. He marches forward. He walks you down. I've never really seen Jon be a counterpuncher. He will keep people at bay because of his reach. Sometimes he'll even do what we call a stiff arm. Well, he'll just take the palm of his hand and put it right on your head and hold you back like a cartoon character where you just simply can't reach him. That's a big part of his defense. Another part of his defense is that offense being the best defense in theory there. And ultimately, he could take a punch. But I've never seen him really slip outside and dig to the body and come upstairs like some of these counterpunchers do. So I don't know if I agree with the assessment that he is not counterpunching. Look, Jon is finding himself in some harder fights. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He is being tested to a higher level, but he is passing those tests. So if the observation was to come in, are Jon's fights getting closer? Many people thought Reyes won. Many people even thought Santos won based on a 10-9 must system. I don't know that we've ever seen two Jon Jones back-to-back fights where there was a discussion of did he win or did he lose either of those fights. It was usually pretty clear. So I can see where this would come from. But if you're coming from it to be negative to Jon, I don't know if that's right. I would tend to lean towards the other side, which is compliment Santos, compliment Reyes. I've seen Jon needing to push. I've seen Jon being just as creative out there. I see Jon wrestling less than he used to. That would be a change that you could actually identify that's noticeable and meaningful. His second offense, though, which is that very wild stand-up fighting. You know, whether you wanted to call it Muay Thai, I mean, he almost is doing a thing of his own out there. You don't see a lot of guys, even in Muay Thai fights, doing some of the technique that Jon does on his feet. Turns out his second line of defense or offense is just as good. I don't know that he has to go out there and wrestle. I can just identify that he is wrestling less. His ground and pound is more than good. It's great. But if he doesn't do the takedown, he doesn't get the ground and pound. So he's found himself in a little bit harder fights. He's found himself taking a little bit more damage than he has prior. That's a fair assessment. But I don't think we should use that assessment to insult Jon's skills as much to just tip our hat to the opponents.